I've been working with IGIDR since 1996, and the IGIDR library established in 1987 along with an institute. And initially, this has started. You know that many of you may not be aware that initially IGIDR started as only a research institute. It was established as a think tank. Later, we moved on to starting academic programs. Initially, we started with PhD in development economics, and later in the year 2004-5, we started with the MSc in economics. And apart from these two courses, what of course even we had MPhil course also until last year, but from this year it has been discontinued. The reason why we concentrate only in the specific courses is the mandate given to us is that to provide an in-depth kind of a training in economics, so that students can excel in those areas and they can move forward and we become a faculty member in case they are completing the research, or if they are working in if they are completing only master's program, and then they contribute to the finance and economics kind of a corporate sector as well. So today we have many of our alumni who are working in the corporate sector, and also in most of the major academic institutes our students are there, whereas they are working as a faculty member. Even in some institutes, I think the entire 80% of the economics department is occupied by IGIDRNs. That is a very happy moment for us. Coming to the library, as I told you, it is basically we cater to the information needs of our researchers, students, faculty members, and also we do allow any visiting scholar like Varun, who was one of our vivid user of our library, and he visited our library many times. And so any researcher can walk in, and we don't charge anything for the researchers. They can come in, they can access our library, and we have an excellent collection in economics and other disciplines. And we have whatever the latest books come in the area of economics, that we have, because it is basically the contribution made by our faculty members, the library committee, and the support from the management, the director, and our parent organization, Reserve Bank of India. So in view of that, we have built up an excellent collection in economics. If any of you are in the future are going to undertake a research in economics, or if you plan to join IGIDR, you are most welcome. So we have excellent collection. Apart from, see, earlier until 2015 or so, we were having mostly the print collection. But with the change of introduction of internet and change in the format of information, now we have moved on to many of the electronic resources. Now 80% of our journals come from the in the form of electronic journal, the online journal, what we call. We have subscriptions to most of the economics journals published by various publishers like Elsewhere, Wiley, Springer, and many other publishers, whomsoever they are publishing in the Chicago, MIT Press. So most of the journals which whatever our users wanted, we have access to, and we have subscription to most of the databases, like starting from full text databases. We have a bibliographic database called Econlit. I think you may also have access to the Econlit. This is the economic literature database, which provides.
Would you like to speak something about Econlit? Matlab, yesterday we had an EBSCO session. Okay. So Gaurav Date mentioned that we have the Econlit database within EBSCO host. Yes. But it has around 600 journals. So would you spend a minute on it? About
yeah, sure, sure. Yeah. Even I can demonstrate also if your students. You do have subscription for that?
We have EBSCO host. Within EBSCO host, we have the Econlit database.
Yeah. We also have Econlit within EBSCO host only. We have taken it through EBSCO host. See, Econlit is basically an electronic version of Journal of Economic Literature, which is published by American Economic Association. So that has been, the content is owned by American Economic Association, but it has been distributed in electronic format by various companies, like EBSCO is the one. Like that other Kluwer, the other publisher, they are also bringing out. So there are various platforms on which the Econlit is available. One is in EBSCO host, they have two options. One is only the Econlit, and Econlit with full text. I don't know what subscription you have at
Econlit with full text. I think so, but I'll check with Gaurav.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. So we have only the Econlit. What it does, basically it indexes most of the economics journals which are published in the domain of economics. In addition to the economic journals, it also does index some of the edited volumes You mean the edited volumes means the books which have been edited by which may be the conference proceedings, or it could be a collection of articles written by many of the authors. It is a part of it. And also Econlit to some extent also indexes some popular working paper series also. In a whole, it is a very good database and provides bibliographic data for the articles published in the area of economics and related fields from 1886. From 1886 to present, it provides the that much data is available. So anybody, only thing is when you are looking at the data or the literature specific to the India, you may not get the extensive results from there because this is an international database. Of course, you do get the results because number of Indian journals indexed in Econlit is much less as compared to how you can find it in any other database like Indian source like Open Index Initiative, or there is one more database called ISID Index to Indian Social Science Journals. That also indexes good number of social science journals. Yes, I will when I talk about why, I'll also talk about Indian ISID Index to Indian Social Science, how it is different from each are different or complementing each other. So with this brief, and we have just to come to the library, we have more than 1 lakh volumes in print volumes in the library. So they include books, they include the grey literature as Varun mentioned. We have the back volumes of collection. We have a lot of statistical publications, government publications like Census of India, banking statistics, or you can say that economic survey of different states and even the India. And your land, yeah. Land use statistics. Many of the resources are in print form, whatever is available, we are procuring it. But of late, many of these statistical resources we have moved on to having in electronic format. Like that, right now we have access to IndiaStat, we have access to EPWRF database, and we have access to WITS, Comtrade. It is the international trade database. We subscribe to it, even though it is free up to certain extent because our researchers work on a very huge amount of data. And we have access to ProVes, which is a company database, CMI database we have. These are some of the statistical database we have. We have Econlit, subscription to Econlit, and we have, as I mentioned to you, many of the electronic journals like Science Direct we have access to. Only economics, Wiley journals we have. We have access to Springer journals in economics. We have Oxford University Press journals, Cambridge University Press, many of the publishers, whichever the journals in economics, whatever we think that they are, our researchers think that they are useful, we have access to. And earlier, until the pandemic happened, these journals used to be accessed within the campus only, of course, with a limited off-campus access. But now we have made these available remote access. So students from remote areas also, they can get access to, because most of the students, as the case with you also, are outside of the campus, but they can access remotely using our this thing. We have taken access from the InfluNet's InFed access, so through which we are providing remote access to all of the resources, whatever we are subscribed remotely, our students can access to. In addition to that, Institute also has made available VPN access. It is a virtual private network, wherein that even some of the databases which are not able to access through the InfluNet program, even temporarily, they will also be given the VPN access through which they will be able to access the resources which are available within the IGIDR domain and some databases even outside the IGIDR domain also. So, coming to the services, we as I mentioned to library services, we have different kind of services. As Varun rightly mentioned, nowadays any student or anybody walking into your room so comes with a piece of information what they are looking for rather than a book or a journal what they are looking for. So we try to meet our information required not only within the IGIDR, we also depend on other libraries. It is no library is self-sufficient in its resources. We have to depend on other sources, and then we try to provide our service and try to meet our information needs of our users. This is just to give a background of, and this we have a huge library, and initially we had only 10,000 square feet. Now we have around 20,000 square feet library, having but managed with a very minimal staff. So we are around 4 people, regular staff members, and there are around 2 temporary staff, supported by around 2 attendant level, and we have 2 security guards. So this is just a background about the library, and our main users are faculty members, research students, and the master students. Apart from that, any other academic visitor coming from other institutes are most welcome to make use of resources, and our catalog is available online, which you as a user from your university can check it up online, know that what resources we have, before you come to library, make your own research and come over, so that it will be helpful. That's what Varun used to do. Whenever he used to come to the library, he used to check up our catalog and used to come out with a list of books what he is going to refer. Same way, whomsoever you, if you are further continuing your education in continuing your research in economics, then definitely I encourage you all of you come and visit the library as and when is possible. The only thing is requirement is you need to send an email or a letter to us saying that you would like to use the library. Then we, whatever the procedure as per whatever requirement is there, we'll let you know. And our emails are available online on our website, through which you will be able to contact us. Now I would like to, as Varun requested me to talk on OI, Open Index Initiative. I'll be briefly, anyway, he knows about it already, and I'll not be adding much. I just explain what are the different kind of services through which and how it happened, why we went into this service, and what is the reason for that. I'll just explain to that. First, let me share that web screen, and then I'll talk about it.
Sir, on the top right hand side, on the left of the leaf, there is a share option. You know, the upward key, upward
arrow.
Yeah,
it is there. It is there. I'm able to see that. I'm able to see that. Yeah. Okay, I hope all of you are able to see the Open Index Initiative website. Yes, Varun?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yeah, okay. Fine, see, the Open Index Initiative, it is actually the brainchild of our former librarian, Dr. J.K. Manjunath. This happened because as an offshoot of his PhD work. Actually, he was doing a PhD in wherein that he was talking about networking of libraries, networking and resource sharing in the present internet era. So it was his research topic. In that, especially in the social science libraries, among the social science resource sharing and networking among the social science libraries. So that was his topic, and as one of the aspect, one of the project as a part of his PhD work, he took up this initiative. Then he named it as Open Index Initiative. It is the word and coined by him, and this is he started working on it. And later on, we even after his completion of PhD, then we started continuing it. And there are several reasons for that. So one is that it's because of his PhD work, he started this. Then later on, there was a visit to Germany by himself. Along there is German Social Science Institute invited through one of the few of the librarians from India went, and among them one was our former librarian. He visited Germany, and then in that case, he came into touch with some of the experts there in Germany. There is a institute called, let me go to JESIS, Germany, and IZ Bonn. These are the two institutes which they shared their thesaurus. When thesaurus means that it is a kind of a dictionary, wherein that having a lot of other meaning, it is much more exhaustive than the dictionary, and wherein that in each field there are thesaurus, like in social science. UNESCO also has a UNESCO Social Science Thesaurus, and JESIS has its own thesaurus, which they shared with the OI project, so that you can incorporate the thesaurus completely with the Open Index Initiative project. So this was one collaboration he brought in during his visit from the Germany, which was supported by Max Muller Bhavan. Now it is known as is no longer known as Max Muller, is known as the Goethe Institute, which I think many of you may be knowing about it. And also the second, first was it was the support from our director, IJDR, and then the JESIS, and also Economic and Political Weekly magazine. All of you are aware of it. In fact, the entire index of EPW until recent years, it was done by IJDR. Okay, this was a complete index. Earlier, that index was not at all there for EPW. This project was given to IJDR by the former editor Krishna Raj, the late Dr. Krishna Raj, who gave this project to IJDR. And IJDR, that EPW got some funding from the Tata Trust, through which our former librarian, with a team of some people who were hired for this purpose, and they continuously developed this index from 1966 until I mean to say until maybe around 2005-6 he worked on it. After that, then the EPW took over on its own, and then they started developing further indexing from their end. So this is the other support what was responsible in order to extending this OI services and adding more data to it. And when we started this as a project, this was based on the World Bank's participatory research kind of a model through which we developed it. In the sense that the service will be available from IGIDR, where the data to the service come from the different valuators. For example, many of you knowing that RAPEC, Research Papers in Economics, RAPEC is a database wherein that working papers data or grey literature data and the articles data and the software data, everything come from the valuatory people. For example, for RAPEC from India, and we started at much before we initiated OI, we started contributing for metadata of Indian social science research papers to RAPEC database. Even in fact, if you go to the RAPEC, it says that any institute in India, and many of the institute we contributed initially. Later on, we slowed down, and because not finding it much of the time, and later some of the institutions they took on their own. For example, NIPFP we were doing initially, then later they told no, we'll do on our own. Then we shifted the entire data to give it to them. Then they hosted it. Recently, ISI Delhi, Indian Statistical Institute Delhi, we were doing until recently. Then they told no, we would like to do on our own. Then we gave all the data to them, and then they hosted it from their server now. So like that.
Just a clarification.
Yeah.
So Ideas REPEC is an open access repository.
Yes.
Where
it is.
So where, like for example, IGIDR, which had the database of index of Indian journals.
Yeah.
So you uploaded
not Indian journals. It is basically in the working papers, discussion papers coming out of Indian social science research institutes.
Okay, so like for example, Gokhale Institute may have some working paper or Bombay University.
Yes,
so you used to upload that content on Ideas REPEC so that the world over research community can access it.
Uploading means only metadata with a links to the full text to the respective organization.
Okay.
So that because see the REPEC does not host any full text of the papers. It just hosts the metadata and provides the link to the full text of the paper. Okay, if you want, I'll show that REPEC how model the works. Basically, I can show our IGIDR series how it is appearing in the REPEC ideas, and also it is when you use access from Google Scholar or Google, you will be able to get access to these papers.
Okay, so that will be very helpful because I have not introduced them to REPEC or any open access.
You should introduce to REPEC because REPEC is one of the excellent source in economics at an international level. Of course, it is not that comprehensive as any database because it is driven by the voluntary approach.
Voluntary approach of institutions.
This is what the participatory approach. Same model we also adopted. For example, when you say OI model, we talk about the OI model has been developed on the basis of participatory approach. Data is expected to come voluntarily from various individuals and institutions. Contributors can key in or update data from their workstation at their convenience. The stakeholders, both the data contributors and the users, may evaluate and offer suggestions for further improvement. That's what the model based on. This is the REPEC model, and this is the World Bank's participatory approach model. Same thing we adopted and started developing this service. Okay, so so through which we developed this model, and so one contribution because we had experience with contributing metadata to REPEC. Same approach we applied here, and we started requesting librarians working in different institutions and either as an institute as a whole or as a group of individuals or independent individuals, a librarian or it will be a researcher. They also started contributing metadata of their respective organization or from the journals to this OI model. So many of them did contribute initially, but later on what happened because of their promotions or because they moving away from one organization to other organization, many of these people's contributions stopped almost coming from. Then later we decided have our own people, let us contribute ourselves rather than depending upon outside people. So right now the model is what we are doing, we ourselves and our temporary staff, they add up the data. But because of the last year 2020, because of pandemic year, we did not contribute much to this database. So whatever whatever we have done, it is up to only update means you may not get the articles of 2017-18 for all the journals. You may get it for few journals because we are indexing. Some of the journals are actually backdated, and still we need to index many of them. So just to give a hint of it, see the OI search can be for any of there are various kinds of services. I just take 5 minutes for each of the services. So briefly, I can explain to you. So as a whole, why you want to search, you can search from one search box, like how only, of course, it doesn't look like a Google where that you will get a smart box and try to this thing, because this we internally developed. We are not hired any programmers as such. Most of the program, whatever this database relies on, it is almost developed by our former librarian with assistance from the staff members. So this is it doesn't look like that kind of a Google kind of interface, but see from here, if you search anything, you will get the results for that. But you don't want to do that. You want to go to a particular kind of a thing. For example, if you are interested in index to EPW, okay, entire whatever indexing we have done, complete EPW access is available here. Means the bibliography details. For example, if you search by author or search by for example, I say Rai Tirthankar was one of the things I submitted. So you will get the complete results of the article, maybe written by him and co-author, so many other co-authors, whatever is there. So it will be available like this. So when you see search by, this is a book review, and these are the number of articles written by this thing. Here there is no link given because this is the EPW index. So that kind of a link is there, but you will come to know how many articles published by that author. For example, you want to know any of the papers which are published in EPW on foreign direct investment, for example. If you click here, it will provide you what are the issue number and when this has been published. So you will come to EPW. Okay, this is the value number. Somewhere there is some problem. So there are some, it is not showing the value number, but some cases it is showing. Maybe because of the data, there is some problem with the data that we are checking in. See, some cases you are finding the abstract, some cases you are not finding the abstract. It is because wherever abstract is available, we have added. Where abstract is not available, that has not been added over there. Okay.
Yeah.
And here, yeah.
EPW, just to share with the students, Economic and Political Weekly is one of the largest accessible by the researchers in India, maybe abroad also, but it is has mostly the articles which are related to India. It has book reviews, it has special articles, it has commentary on, you know, the hot topics which are around. So it is one of the most respected journal in India, because it has it has 4 issues in 1 month, 4 to 5 every weekly. It has an issue. So getting an article in EPW is itself quite a recognition. So generally when I apply for jobs, sir, they ask me, do you have an article in EPW or in a Scopus Index or ABDC? That way. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, he's right. It's one of the respected journal in the field of economics and political science. And of course, in whole of social science, I can say. And not only in India, even abroad also, they have a lot of subscriptions, and it is one of the well-recognized weekly. And it's been also indexed by Scopus now. So it's available in Scopus now. So if any publication, if you make, you get a wide recognition. So this is just to, and also you can use a subject year. For example, you want to restrict by a particular year. So that is also possible. So you can restrict the articles which are published only in 2008. That kind of restriction also you can make it. And otherwise you want to restrict by document type or kind of a thing, editorials only, or you want from the article. These are some of the keywords which have been given over there. These are the different subject area through which obituary, for example. There are many times because EPW gives that, and of life letter. These are some of the headings what EPW uses. So if you are interested in any of those kind of reviews, as Varun mentioned, you can click on that, then make a search, and you will get only reviews. In case if I say foreign direct investment reviews only, then these are all most of the title of the reviews. Just you can see here. Only you will be able to go to the specific of it what you are searching for. So that way what will happen, you will be filtering the content and to go to the exact results what you are looking from EPW. So that way you can choose a subject, and also you can use the Boolean operators and or not, so that we are given. So these, of course, you as youngsters may not be using all of it. You just, you may be entering a keywords in the search box like Google this thing, and Google provides. Google also has an advanced search feature wherein you should use it so that your results, what results you get when you retrieve a results, will be limited rather than getting a exponential kind of results wherein that you lose control it, what to use, what not to use. So these are the kind of Boolean operators that also you can use. So to search from the author, or you want a title word by word, you want to search it, or you want to make a combination of both author and all those kind of search is possible from here. And coming to our extensively used services, index to Indian journals. Means here we are indexing as of now around 80 Indian social science journals. We index journals up to the abstract level. Not only the abstract, apart from abstract level indexing what you get, we also linked it to the library catalogs. So what happens, the advantage when you search for an article, because most of the Indian journals as of now, they are available only in print form. They are not in online form. So in case if you are looking for any specific articles published in Indian journals, you, for example, you are in Pune. So you want to know, okay, this article is published in so and so journal. Whether is this journal available, which library? One is that you can request your librarian, get me this article. That's one way of doing it. Even you can tell your librarian, no, this is the journal wherein the article published, and this journal is available in so and so library in Pune. So that also you will be able to tell them. For example, let me search the same foreign direct investment. So now I clicked on it. Same, for example, there is one. This is the article. I clicked on it. Now it is showing me the South Asian Journal, Economic Journal, almost so and so author. And this is the title, does institutional quality matter attract the FDI? It's okay. It's the empirical news of Pakistan, for example. So here the data by, this is the code for the contributor and availability in the Indian library. This was I was talking about. So if you click here, it will tell you that where all this article is available, where this journal is available in which library. Because we have some selected Indian social science libraries where in the data we have taken a data from them and added it to this database. Similarly, if you are looking for some other article, then you can try to find out, for example, say that Indian Journal of Transport Management. Okay. So now if I click here, then more libraries are coming. For example, you are looking for this is Gokhale available in GIP Pune from 1977 to 2007. Okay, so of course, maybe after that they discontinued. For example, in case of IGIDR, we have 2017 plus indicates means currently also still it is being subscribed at IGIDR library. Okay, so that way you'll come to know where this journal available. In case if you are looking for 2008 journal, then it may not be available in GIP. Then in that case, either you can ask librarian to contact the IGIDR library or wherever that 2008, for example, this IIM Bangalore it is available. So then your library will contact that library and try to provide you the article. Not necessarily that library. If they know some other library in Pune itself, then they get the article from that library. So this way it will help you to know where that particular journal available. So that way you can go to that library yourself or request through your library, or you can request any of your friends residing in those places to get the articles for which is required for your research or for your study. And coming to there are.
Sir, I have a doubt. Sir, in you had clicked on index to Indian journals.
Yes.
Now, when you type this query, so generally the results are reflected based on relevance, or what is it? Do you have any instructions for us that how other results are sorted out? Is it date wise? Is it relevance wise? And if in the title, can we write a phrase, keywords, any suggestions for that when we put in title?
Here, see, this has been given as a simple thing. So it takes as a keyword, whatever words you enter, it takes as a keyword based on which it provides you the results.
So you would not recommend using in, a phrase like just prepositions. You won't recommend. You would just recommend us to put keywords.
I don't recommend that because we have not used those kind of things here. So unless you define it in your search engine, then results will not appear. Okay.
Okay, and we used to use the word double apostrophe at the start, at the end. So that we should be using or not?
No, you need not use here because that kind of option we have not given here. So just you can make a search by entering the keywords rather than, or you can enter the title also. I'm not telling that it may not come, it will come, but better to use the keywords to retrieve the results. Or so if you know the author, then you can enter the author also.
Yeah. So you are suggesting that till 2020 or 2019, this database has been updated, and it would be from which year onwards? From 2000 year onwards or 1996? Any backend?
It varies from source to source. Some we have indexed much before that. Some been indexed after 2000, or say after say it varies. Again, depends on the journal when it started publishing. Because many of them we are going backwards.
Because EPW is a very old journal. Yes. It is 1950s or 60s they started EPW.
We started, that is from the starting volume we have, because that was a project taken by us, and that we have indexed from the starting to until I think 2005-6 or so. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Welcome. So it's just simple search. So here we don't use those kind of phrase search as Varun mentioned. So you enter the keywords and you will get the results. Of course, you can filter it by year. That option is there, or otherwise. So that kind of a search you can make, through which you will be able to know that what are the articles published. And here also we will not given any download option as such. Whereas in many of the database you can have a download option. But of course you can take the screenshot, or you can select all the text and copy it to any word processing software and try to see that which articles of your relevance. Okay, fine. And coming to the other one, this is thesis and dissertation. Like there are thesis and dissertation which are submitted to various Indian social science institutes. We could collect data from few of the institutes, and that data, but is not comprehensive, like as comprehensive as Shodhaganga, because Shodhaganga is a much more wider perspective, because any university in India, all of these are coming over there. But this was our small effort in collecting data from various institutions, wherein some of them they submitted data at that time. So whatever data available with us, that is available. But you will be able to search some of the thesis and dissertation what is being submitted to Indian Social Science Institution. That I'll not show you that, you can explore it. And similarly, we have working papers. This is similar to REPEC model. So REPEC, what it does, it collected the metadata of different working paper, different institutions, and given access to that. Same model we adopted for the working papers which are produced by Indian Social Science Research Institute. Since we already had a data that we were contributing to REPEC, same thing we reproduced here. Later on, even we requested those institutes to contribute the working paper metadata, and they did contribute, and all of that data is available. And later on, we also collaborated with the Institute of Development Studies, Sussex, University of Sussex, wherein they had a project called OK Hub, Open Knowledge Hub. Okay, wherein that we also were one of the partners for that, in association with some of the Indian Social Science Research Institutes, and we contributed metadata of some of the publications to OK Hub also. That was a collaborative project with different institutions all over the world, wherein we were also from India. We were the partners in contributing metadata of some of the Indian social science literature to the database. That is available. OK Hub, if you search in the internet, you will get it. But not much of they have taken from our project, but at least some of the papers of IGID or some other institutions are available. Here, like any other this thing, if you make any search, for example, India's economic development. So this is a problem. Let me see. Okay, see, for example, I entered foreign direct investment. So these are the different working paper published. We'll see this is a GIDR working paper, see ICRIAR working paper. Okay, so like the different institutions here, what we are giving only the metadata of the publications we are giving, whereas full text it will take you to the respective institution. Like I said, Institute for Studies of Industrial Development. Okay, if you click here, it will take you to that institution, and you will be able to get full text of the paper from that institution. Here, our job ends to give you the metadata publications, how it is being indexed, and when you click here, it will take you to the full text of the paper to the respective organization's website. So this also very useful. You should use it. And also we are making an effort to list out the Indian conferences, because many times what happens, they are not, of course, now you don't find all of them are old, because nowadays ads are not coming in the newspaper, or conference announcements are not happening much, wherein that we used to retrieve, we used to go through many of the Indian magazines and or some of the web links, and I'll try to provide the links for those conferences. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, many of those kind of things have stopped. Of course, they are happening in a virtual mode, but such this thing is distributed through the email and all. So those things we are not including. Earlier, these kind of advertisements used to come in the EPW, used to come in other Indian journals, like various journals published by Sage Publisher and all. So we used to collate that information and try to provide links from OI website, so that any Indian researcher who is interested in attending any of the Indian conferences, they would be able to link, click here and try to find out what is the date. For example, if you click on this, we used to provide the information like, okay, this is the conference, whom to contact, what are the areas, what are the important dates, and what is the where you can submit our abstract, what is the email address, contact information, those kind of info, whatever appeared in the advertisement, we used to give it over here. Okay, and the other one is Union Catalog of Journals. This is the same thing. Whatever catalog I showed you when you were retrieving the journal articles, and it links it, same thing. But here, as a librarian, if any of the social science institutes want to know where this journal is available, then they'll be able to find out. For example, I want to know Journal of Risk, for example. So it will tell me that where this journal, there is a two Journal of Risk and Insurance is there, Journal of Risk and Uncertainty there. For example, you want to submit it and which library it is available. That is basically used by the librarians, not by you as a researcher, but this also we have provided on this database. And apart from that, we also have experts associations. Okay, Indian Social Science Research Institutions, if you want to know. So if you click here, sorry, that this is a link. Basically, we are providing different links there. Some of the links may be old, they are not working. So, and we also collaborating with different LIS departments, wherein that some of the departments did contribute metadata to this database. And also we have experts in open source software. For some of this is particularly with reference to library software, where in that Indian Social Science Research Institution, if you would like to know that who is the expert in what kind of open source software, that also they will be able to get access to this database. I think this with this, I think I covered up most of the services what is being offered through OI. If you have any doubts, then I'll be able to explain. Varun?
Yeah, anyone would like to have any query as of now, Mendra, from whatever sir showed? In first, I'll ask the queries if you have in this database. Anyone would like to ask anything about any doubt that you had about using this database? The whole idea is that the many international databases that we have, Scopus or Web of Science or EBSCOhost, many of them don't cover Indian journals. And so the many of the Indian journals are the places where our most of the researchers contribute. So for example, the state level studies, region specific studies, district specific studies, many of them get covered in lot of Indian journals. Like for example, Indian Journal of Agriculture Marketing, it is not as of yet indexed in these databases, but the articles are indexed by the efforts of the IGIDEA library staff. So Indian specific, if I'm looking at the research content, which I'm able to get it using, I'm at least able to know which journal has this kind of article. Earlier, we used to have Guide to Indian Periodic Literature, which was a bounded volume, used to come on quarterly basis, where subject wise or topic wise index articles were indexed. But unfortunately, I think sir, last 4 years they have discontinued the service.
Yes, you are right.
Guide to Indian Periodic Literature,
Yes,
because as a PhD student, as a research student, it was like one of our must exercise. Suppose I'm whichever topic I'm doing, I used to see the maybe that guide of last 10 years to check which all articles have come in my topic.
Yeah, you are right, because they could not get along with the technology, because if they had developed this as that as a database, it could have become a very comprehensive database for Indian social science literature, Indian periodical literature. But unfortunately, they could not do it. Then ultimately they discontinued the service. Yeah. Otherwise, the data, whatever they collected, was a huge and very excellent data. And unfortunately, because of discontinuation, it is not available anymore.
Yeah. So one of the advantage of institution like IGIDR or Gokhale Institute or Bombay University or any Delhi school, since they are old libraries, maybe more than 20-30 years, and they maintain a rich collection of databases, books, dictionaries. So I think so you would be also having Palgrave dictionary, online access, as well as I think the hard copy.
No, we don't have as of now online access, but we are offline.
Hard copy, yeah. So it is like a 8-volume big dictionary. Anyone has any queries to ask to sir? Anything now apart from this OII, you want any other advice or any query which you have about searching or anything? Anyone would like to ask anything? Anyone would like to ask anything? Sir, if you have time, 5 minutes, can you show REPEC?
Yeah, I'll just show that. That's what I will do.
Yeah.
This is a REPEC website. REPEC stands for Research Papers in Economics. It is a collaborative effort of hundreds of volunteers in 102 countries. Okay. Wherein, as I told you, we started from India initially, but now because of that popularity of REPEC, and many of the institutes are coming forward to take it up. So we have helped many of the institutes start their own repositories. Like recently, this Baba Ambedkar School of Economics, BSc based from Bangalore, which is recently started functioning as a deemed university. So they contact us to host their working paper. Then we help them to host their repository on REPEC. So it is available on REPEC now. So here they have a different kind of service. One is the IDEA, which IDEA is REPEC, which is very popularly known, because whatever has been indexed in REPEC, that is distributed through the IDEAs. Okay. And now they have started with many other services like even the citation information also. Whatever papers you upload there, even the citation information also you get to know. These are the various services. Here as an individual also authors can contribute, and as an institution also contribute. We at IGIDR as an institution, we are contributing now also to metadata of IGIDR working paper and some of few other institutions, and some they have been contributed directly by the respective organization. If you want to show that our IGIDR papers from REPEC, so you can of course whatever has been indexed in REPEC, they are available through Google or the Google Scholar. Whenever you make any search, and immediately you get links from that. Not necessarily that you have to come to REPEC and search for it, but as a service, I'm just showing that what are the different kind of services it offers, how one can find out paper directly by going there also. For example, if you are looking for any working papers or the grey literature, so just you can click on econ papers. Okay, so here you can make search. This is the quick search, or you want advanced search, you can make use of advanced search. Okay, and these are the working papers. How many there are? Out of that, more than 8 million papers are downloadable, and there are so many journal articles, and most of them are downloadable. Okay, and there are software items, there are books available, chapters, and there are authors. So many authors. This thing have registered on REPEC. You as an author, you can register as a REPEC author service. You can do that. So now, for example, if any institutions, once it contributes, you want to know that how the data appears there. I'm just showing for the IGIDR. Okay. Okay. So here we have around 446 papers. So if I click on IGIDR, it shows me that whatever the papers until 2021-007, that is our latest paper. So it shows the links for the download also. Fine. And here it shows my name also, because I contribute data to this REPEC for IGIDR and few institutions. Wherever the data contributor name also, credit is given to the data contributor, because that is the only credit we as doing a voluntary work that's been given a credit to them. Now, for example, for the institution, as an institution, for any institutions, here they provide the Excel statistics to know that how the data of these papers have been downloaded over a period of time from the beginning of the time, and from last 3 months and the last month how the series has performed. So this kind of a graphical, this is very useful whenever institutions make a presentation about their resource, how they are being used by different users all over the world. Only the advantage here, the access is available worldwide. People will be using your papers. But you as a researcher, you need not have to worry. If you want to know, for example, ranking of papers under this series based on the downloads, then you will come to know. Okay. See, highest ranking is COVID-19 impact on the Indian economy. That's the paper which has the highest downloads. Okay. Based on which it ranks the papers. Okay. And these are some of the papers, and it shows how many downloads. Okay. In the February, and 3 months, how many downloads, 12 months. Okay. So the abstract, how many downloads have happened, how many abstract views have happened. Even that is being shown for around, it shows for around 20 papers, and ranks for 20 papers, which is top downloaded papers. Even you can increase it also, range change, you can change this. So this way you will come to know about different papers. When you click on this paper, it provides you the details of the paper, abstract and all. And if you're interested in the full text of the paper, then you click here. It will bring you back to the IGIDR website, and through wherein you can download the full text of the paper. This is just to brief about a REPEC service, which is a very good database. I encourage all of you should make use of it in order to find out any of the full text of the papers in your area of study or research.
Anyone has any question for sir? If anyone doesn't, so thank you, sir, for at least introducing us to this REPEC, and I'm sure it would be helpful. So I had one question that do you take interns, like 2-3 months interns? Is it only from the library science department that you take interns?
Yeah, only from library science now, as of now.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a kind of that internship for your students?
Yeah, students have to do an internship. So I just thought that some of our students are based in Bombay.
Okay.
So maybe if someone is interested to, contribute to such work, so maybe I will, if any interest comes from any student, I will share this CV and we'll take this forward.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Arun. Thank you for giving.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much. It was very helpful, and I will share the